Good afternoon and welcome back to Girded with Truth. We are continuing speaking about the gifts of the Spirit. And 1 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 10 continues the gifts by talking about the gifts of discerning of spirits. And what is it to discern spirits? It means to separate, to tell apart, or to differentiate which spirit is operating at any given point in time. This does not mean we are discerning people or separating the people we like from the people we don't like. This is to deal strictly with spirits because there are different spirits that have gone out in the physical world that operate within persons. Because the Bible tells us we do not wrestle flesh and blood but principalities and powers. And we wrestle against spiritual wickedness in high places and all these different things. But basically we wrestle spirits, we wrestle not against our neighbor. So to get into the different types of spirits, we're gonna first go into 1 John chapter 4 verse 1. It says, "Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world." So, to try means to discern the spirit, to be able to test the spirit, to approve the spirit that is operating. So here we are learning that there are many spirits within the world. People claim to come in the name of the Holy Spirit. People claim to come in the name of God, but really they are operating under evil spirits and oppressive spirits. And Leviticus chapter 20 verse 6 says this, "And the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits and after wizards, to go a-whoring after them, I will set my face against that soul and will cut him off from among his people." So here God is saying, I don't want you chasing after any kind of familiar spirits. You need to focus on my spirit. And today I'm telling you, we need to focus on the Holy Spirit. If the Holy Spirit is not leading you, then a familiar spirit is leading you. And God is saying here that He's going to cut off whoever is listening to a familiar spirit. So we have to try, test, and prove the spirit to make sure that the spirit we are hearing from is in fact the Holy Spirit. And Matthew chapter 10 verse 1 says, "And when He had called unto Him His 12 disciples, He gave them power against unclean spirits." So here we are seeing unclean spirits operating here. But when Jesus called His disciples, He gave them power to cast them out and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. So here God has given us authority over unclean spirits. So we are not to listen to them, we are not to converse with them, we are not to follow them, but we are to cast them out. And Acts chapter 19 verse 12 says, "So that from his body were brought unto the sick handkerchiefs or aprons, and the diseases departed from them, and the evil spirits went out of them." So here we are seeing evil spirits possessing men. So we are not to attach ourselves to men who are possessed with evil spirit. Instead, we are to discern the spirit that is operating and cast them out or send them out of individuals. We are not to make leagues or to be companions with evil spirits. Our responsibility is to get rid of them. That is why God gave us power and authority, so that these spirits, these evil spirits, these unclean spirits, these familiar spirits will flee at our very presence. 1 Timothy chapter 4 verse 1 says, "Now the Spirit speaketh expressly, that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils." So basically, spirits are sent out, familiar spirits are sent out to seduce us away from the Holy Spirit. But we cannot allow them to seduce us and take us away from the Holy Spirit. Our responsibility is to follow the Holy Spirit wholeheartedly and focus. We have to focus on the voice of the Holy Spirit. Jesus said, "My sheep know my voice, and another voice they will not listen to." So therefore, we are to hearken unto the voice of God. We are to go with the leading of the Holy Spirit. We are to discern the Spirit that is operating, and this is a very important gift for a believer, because if you cannot discern the Spirit, then how are you to be an effective Christian? You have to be able to discern the Spirit that is operating in an atmosphere, in an environment. There are also territorial spirits. There are many different kinds of spirits out there. But our responsibility, first and foremost, is to discern what spirit is operating, so we will know what strategy to use and how do we cast out, get rid, and send away this spirit from our territory, from our environment, from our atmosphere, and from individuals connected to us. We are not docile Christians. We are Christians that stand for something and stand for God. So we have a responsibility to operate as Jesus would in the earth. We have a responsibility to take hold of the power and authority God has given to us and get rid of these familiar spirits. So don't let any seducing spirit come and lure you away from the true and living God. You take authority over that thing. Speak forth what God has told you to say, and you allow your gift of the discerning of spirits to operate and discern the Holy Spirit from the familiar spirits. So today, I decree and declare that you are operating in the gift of discerning of spirits. Today, no lying spirit, no evil spirit, no unclean spirit, no seducing spirit will come and speak to you. Every spirit that the enemy has sent out, every familiar spirit that has come to interfere with you or has come to lure you away from God, we take authority over them and we listen only to the voice of the Holy Spirit and how He is leading us. We take authority, we dismantle, we destroy, and we rebuke every familiar spirit that is trying to come up against us, that is trying to speak to us. And we declare that the Holy Spirit is raising up inside of us and speaking to us, speaking within us, speaking over us. And we are standing in the discerning of spirits to discern every enemy that is trying to deceive us. Thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful afternoon. Bye.